Okay, so our last chapter is reviewing the statement of cash flows that you learned in financial accounting. So this will just be pulling that information from your memory banks. Should be pretty simple, kind of good way to end our course. Okay, so this first problem is just asking you to say where things go in the statement of cash flows. So if you remember it from financial accounting, otherwise it'll be after you have covered chapter 12 and learned how to do the whole statement, you'll know where things go. Like, for instance, issued common stock for cash, right? You'll put X for a financing activity. A couple of things that I thought were tricky is because they say it's the indirect method. Okay, so prepaid expenses, well, actually, we know that's the operating activities. That's not the one. Let's see, where's one that I thought was difficult? Okay, sold merchandise to customer for cash, right? We don't show that anywhere on our statement when we prepare it using the indirect method. So when I did it, I was like, well, that's not reported in the statement of cash flows, but now look, it was marked wrong. So they want you to think about that sold merchandise to customer for cash. That is included in net income, so that's part of operating activities. And see, now I'm going to get it marked right. So I saw a couple of these when I was doing the problem. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay. Next problem is the cash flows from investing activities. And actually, even for problem 1, I recommend going to page 460. Exhibit 12.1 shows the cash receipts and the cash payments having to do with operating activities. Exhibit 12.2 is cash receipts and cash paid having to do with investing activities. And then Exhibit 12.3 shows cash receipts and cash payments having to do with financing activities. So all three of those exhibits would have helped you with problem 1. Exhibit 12.2 that shows the cash received and cash paid having to do with investing activities will help you with this one. One thing is you also are going to have to go back to your financial accounting and think about a sale of a long-term asset at a gain or a loss. My example here, they're showing you, they give you the book value, the original cost, they tell you it was sold at a loss. You got to figure out what was the cash received, right? So we know the selling price less the book value gives you the gain or loss. So if you're told the book value is $10,000 and we had a gain of $2,000, then we can figure out the cash we received was $12,000, right? Likewise, if you're told it's a loss of $2,000, that means our cash received would have been $8,000, right? Because just going back to this from financial accounting. It's nice to pull this from our memory banks. All right, so then the next problem is having you look at financing activities and calculating the net cash provided by financing activities or used in financing activities, right? So don't forget those labels, right? If it's going to be a positive cash flow, net cash provided by financing activities. If we end up with a negative, right, the cash payments are more than the cash receipts, net cash used in. So again, look at Exhibit 12.3 that shows the cash received and cash paid having to do with financing activities. That's on page 460 in the textbook and the ebook. And then the last one is you're going to do a full statement of cash flows. You're going to do a full statement of cash flows here. You're going to do a full statement of cash flows on the quiz. You're going to do a full statement of cash flows on the exam. So just make sure you're very comfortable. And then again, if it says it's incomplete, it's because you didn't provide the labels. Okay. So this you should be able to wrap up pretty quickly. Hopefully it all comes back from when you took financial accounting. And then all you're going to have left is going to be, after you finish the homework, take that quiz from chapter 24 and chapter 12, all you have left is the final exam.